In this video, my good friend Paul Swain joins me to play backgammon versus the bot. With anything, practice always helps you improve, but in backgammon specifically, it's not just practicing. You really need to study your errors and learn from them. And that's exactly what you can do when you can play against a software like XG, as we're doing in this video, because it automatically transcribes the match. You can see all your errors, you can modify the position, and you can do a lot of things. So this is an outstanding exercise to improve. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on it. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. And with the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategy, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. Again, in this video, it's my great pleasure to welcome back my good friend, Paul Swain. Welcome.
Yay, returning champion.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you for asking. Excited. So you said you're outside of Portland, Oregon, is that right?
I'm sitting in Vancouver, Washington, and enjoying it. Been here for a few years. Good backgammon scene, bigger than you might think.
Is
Some
there?
strong players up here for sure. We also have the kind of I-5 connection up to the Washington, the Olympia, Tacoma, Seattle crew that
Okay,
plays some good gammon up there. So it's good backgammon happening in the Pacific
good, good.
Northwest.
How long have you been playing backgammon yourself?
I have been playing since August of 2020, which was when the pandemic was in full swing, and my wife and I got a backgammon board. I was tired of her beating me at gin rummy, so I was like, let's try this. And then she beat me at backgammon just as much. She's naturally very good at games. And I was like, well, hold on, maybe there's like strategy to this that I can learn. I knew she was going to be mad at me for doing this, but I was like, I'll go online and I'll see if anybody has any I didn't really know that there was much strategy behind it. And
Right.
then, wow, you realize how much and how deep it is out there. And I just got hooked immediately, and it's just been going full speed ever since then.
I feel like backgammon was highly popularized when people had to stay home. So
For
that's a good
sure,
thing.
you're able to play with people that are there in your home. You got a place to do something to keep
Yeah,
the interest, and also you can play online, which is great. I started
that's right.
playing pretty quickly on
That's
Galaxy and other platforms, and you know, no contact involved, no risk of getting COVID at the
yeah,
time. So yeah,
very good. Okay, so we're going to play a 3-point match. We're playing on a beautiful Gammoner board. This is a specific Gammoner board that Volker made for you with the gray background and the black and light blue points. And these checkers are the colors of your Florida Gators. Is that correct?
yes, that's correct. Go
Great. And
Gators!
yeah, the
Got the
XG
hat
board is
representing.
that's right. The XG board itself was made by Rain. He makes beautiful XG boards. There's a link in the
Hmm.
description to where you can get it. We'll be playing the blue checkers at the bottom XG, the orange checkers at the top, bearing off on the right. Most important thing is to have fun, and number 2, to learn. You're, of course, welcome to consult with me as the guest. The final decision is up to you. And here we go.
I might take advantage of that, especially
Okay.
getting any back games here. I know I'm
Okay.
gonna have some phone a friend moments. All right, let's get
All
into
right.
it.
So 6-2.
I will start as I always do with 6-2, 24 to the 18 and down.
Very good. Now return 6-2. So this is
Yep,
actually how a lot of these games start, with back and forth hitting exchanges, especially with the initial 6 split.
totally.
5-2.
I'm gonna hit him back, just like you
Okay.
said.
See, what happens is the opponent has good 6s from the bar, and then if you're hit, you have good 6s from the bar, but one person loses 7 pips, the other loses 18 pips and sends another checker
Hmm.
back. All right,
Hmm.
6-5. This can hit on the outside.
Yeah.
Now
Okay, so
5-4.
5-4. I think I'm gonna make the golden point here. Come in on the 5.
Yeah.
Or sorry, come in with the 5 and then make the point with the 4. No reason to go from 18 to 13 and play that safe and get stacky here. I really like having that nice point. Let's do it.
Very good. Okay, now another 6-2. Okay, so runs this time.
Got it.
Okay, so
A
now 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I could switch my anchor if I wanted to. I'm not sure that I want to, but I noticed that's an option. I could also just play safe, go 18 to 13, and just wait for the
Oh,
next
18 to
roll.
13.
Or, well, you were doing the other option there, which was to come down in some fashion and then figure out what to do with the two. Maybe just play to the 8, play it quiet. This is a tough one. Let me think for a moment. Anyone who's watched me play before will know how slowly I play. And when they hear me talk out loud about what I'm thinking about, they'll go, oh, this is why he's just so really slow
Well,
at
do you want to
thinking.
look at one position and kind of think out loud?
Yeah, for sure.
Like
I
maybe,
think bring it over like that for a second. Okay, I mean, it's perfectly playable game, even race. I've got an anchor. He's going to have a little bit of a harder time clearing that anchor on the 11. That seems fine. At the same time, if I play something a little bit looser, something that leaves that blot or creates another blot, not in much danger, you know. I have the anchor. If he does hit me, I'm not going very far back. So it seems like a chance for to maybe do something a little bit more productive than just building back up the midpoint. So if you wouldn't mind going back to this original position here. I also am thinking to myself, you know, do I want that 18-point anchor? I'm almost inclined to do something like 13, 10, 6, 4 and try to like fast track some development. But it leaves a little too many blots, and I don't really want the 4 anyway. So I think what I will do is bring the 3 down from 13 to 10 and then upgrade my anchor from 20 to 18, which my hope is that that'll make 6s awkward for him from the midpoint later. Not sure that's the right thing to do, but I think I got a good playable game from here, so I'm just going to go with that.
okay.
And then I'll learn something later if it's wrong.
6-4
I
will
know where he's
run.
going. Yep.
Now 6-5. So
6-5. Immediately, I'm looking at the race to see, like, all right, where's close and behind? I'm 11 pips behind before the roll, so it'll be exactly even after this. It makes sense to me to run my back guy out and around. That way, I can continue to play, develop my inner board. I don't really need that guy for the contact because I've got the contact on the 18. So that's what I'm going to do.
okay. 6-2. Try to clear.
All
Now
right.
5-2.
With 5-2, I think I'm just going to make the 4-point here in case I get some shots later. I want to have something to contain him.
What about doing something like, I don't think you're going to get a shot next, right?
Oh, I'm definitely not going to get a shot next. That's true. So we
So
could do something like 10 to
like
5, 6 to 4,
like
just getting ready to
this
make
way you
them
could build
in
the next
order.
point. Yeah, and you have tons. I don't think it's a huge difference, but up to you.
I would be shocked if it were more than a, 0.010 either way. I think I'd prefer just to make the 4.
Okay.
It's not a bad idea to do the other, but there's, I think, a little more chance of contact than there'd normally be if he was just on his midpoint, but he's got that point on the 11 he needs to clear, so you never know. Maybe something will
Okay.
get awkward here in a roll or two.
Double 2, 4 down. Yeah, a lot of people don't see this play, but that's a good play. It gives you a lot of playable 6s.
Great
Okay.
play. Yeah, that was
Now
the whole point
6-4.
of me making that 18 point was that'll make the 6s awkward. Not anymore. Okay, 6-4, that's good. Want to keep up in the race. So for this one, gonna come down from 13 to 7 with the 6, and with the 4, don't really have anything that puts anything on the 5. Anything that I really want, I think I'll just bring it in 10 to 6. I think this is likely to end up in a race of some kind, so
Okay.
just go ahead and get that. I know I got that gap on the 5 I want to fill in, but I'll try to take care of that here.
2-1. Okay. Now
2-1,
6-5.
6-5 again. Love it. Gonna bring 2 down, 13 to 7, 13 to 8, I think. Don't click it just yet unless you already have. Okay. The reason I say that is because that'll help me make the point. I don't want to put checkers deep in something that I think will end up being a race. Does make it a little bit harder for me to extract the checkers from the 18 because there's not that safe landing place for them. And he does have the ammo outside, or not ammo maybe, but the timing outside from those checkers on his 14 and 17 to just kind of keep building his board and just keep me stranded there. So I want to look here and see how far ahead I am in the race, which after the move is 9 pips, and think like, all right, well, I just sort of picture what's going to happen for the next few rolls. You know, he's going to place some numbers over my head most likely, keep building his board. I'm going to be stuck there waiting to roll doubles, you know, double twos maybe, but ideally something like double threes or double fives, double sixes. Maybe I don't want to leave that 13 point because I might need it as a landing place. If you wouldn't mind going back to the original position, I think instead I'm just going to spread some things around in my inner board. So let's play them both from the 8 and then go from there. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm going to do. Keep some connectivity.
5-2. All right, makes the 3 point. Now you're up
Mm-hmm.
by 2. Still gonna roll, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, 6-2.
6-2. Gonna play 8 to 2, 7 to 5. Let me look at it first. That does mean that I'm gonna have to play sixes from either the 18 or the 13. So in the event of another thing like a 6-2 right after this, I'd be in not great shape. 6-1 as well would be problematic, so I wouldn't be able to get past. So back it up just a little bit. Maybe, you know, sleeping in the bed that I made myself here. But let me see. Got to play the 6 from outside. So I am still inclined to play 8 to 2. And then for the 2, I will just play 6 to 4, leaving myself with a playable 6
Stay
on
to
the side.
6. I think
Mhm.
that may have been like one of the advantages. If you had brought 2 down, you'd be able to play such numbers.
Yes, we'd be able to play a bunch of sixes easily, for sure. Sort of balancing that versus having a landing spot for those checkers on the
And
18.
that's kind of the same reason it brought 4 down here. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so now 6-2.
Absolutely, giving itself better chances of doing that
All
same thing.
right. And now
Let's go.
5-2.
5-2. I mean, that's the number that jumps to 13, but leaves a double shot. So we're not going to do that. I think then we will probably, oh, those twos. Just want to get a couple of bigger numbers. But for now, I think let's play 6 to 1 with the 5. And I need to make this board get a shot. Am I likely to get a shot? I mean, it's getting a little closer to that time where I might get one. Hmm. I'm thinking 3 to 1
Yeah.
potentially just to make a stronger board. But then it does get, you know, harder to fill in those gaps. Could you back that up for just a second? Just redo the 6 to 1, and then the 2, let's say 7 to 5. I run into those same problems I ran into before, and it's 3 inner blot. So I'm gonna go with the first option, which was 6 to 1, 3 to 1.
All right. Now double 1.
Move those forward
Okay, just
closely.
shifting.
Yes,
Okay, now
there's
5-3.
one that I'm looking for to be able to move some of those back checkers. Just need to decide, well, is it time to run off that back anchor? And the answer is no, because he's got a great board and he'll have a double shot at me. So 13 to 8, 13 to 10,
Okay,
and get some ability to move. Yep,
very good. Now 5-2. Place the ace point. Up by
I
6
like that.
pips.
Glad he's got a little blot in his board in case I do need to leave some
4-1.
shots. 4-1, I think we'll make the 3 point here. Yep, makes sense to
Good.
me.
Okay, productive.
Yep, looks great.
3-2. Shifts. Okay,
Yeah,
so
there
now
we go.
notice how like these 2 now are builders for this. So you have 2 builders to remake it.
Mm-hmm.
Still gonna
Mm-hmm.
roll.
Oh, for sure. For
4-1.
sure. Another 4-1. All right, well, with this one, do I need to leave a 6 outside? Or more than 1 6 outside, because my inclination, my sort of insta play for purity is 10 to 5. But in this case, I've only got one more 6 I can play with out there. But his board's cracking a little bit. Maybe that's okay. I'm going to go with that. I do want
Yeah.
to keep some race equity, not bury a bunch of checkers.
2-1. Playing safe. Okay.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. He has to. It's a standoff. 3-1. All right. Well, I still do want to leave a 6 if I can and wait for the thing. So I probably would play 6-5, 6-3 here, or at least look at it and go, do I want to do that? Yeah, I want to do that.
okay.
So that's what we'll do.
Double five. Okay.
Ooh, very good for him.
Still down only eight
So
pips after.
it's only 8 pips before the roll, so 5-2. Can't move the back checkers. Gotta play inside. I'm not as worried about leaving a shot. I know he's gonna move some of his back checkers next. So like, yeah, it would suck to him not to get another 5-2, but I think I'd just be inclined to play in from the 8 to the 3, and then either 3-1 or 6-4. Go back to the original here. Just let me think about that for a second. Unfortunately for me, thinking and talking are sometimes mutually exclusive. I can talk myself into anything. Let's see. 5-2. Hmm. 5-2. 2. Yeah, I think probably better here to leave a 6. It can't be that bad, and I'm a scaredy cat. So let's go 6-1, 3-1,
Okay.
and see what that looks like. Ugh, it looks so gross. I just can't possibly do it. Okay, sorry. 8-1. Final answer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now it's a double.
It's a double. Looking at the race, he's got 75. I've got 76. So I'm only down 1 pip, and he's got 4 crossovers left. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 crossovers left. I do have a little bit of wastage on my ace point, but at most that's adding a couple extra pips. He's got a gap. This seems like an easy take to me because the race is pretty close. I'm not going to get him on contact most likely, but I can still win on the race a lot of times. It
Right.
is 3 away, 3 away, which
Right.
might change the equation a little bit here. I'd be a little less likely to take um, like in a sort of borderline race situation. But to be honest, this doesn't feel borderline to me yet. This still feels like something that would be a comfortable take at 3 away, 3 away.
Yeah.
I'm not an
Some of
expert on it, but it still feels pretty good.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think some of the things I think about is the 4 crossovers versus the 4 crossovers. So blue needs 24 pips to come in, whereas orange only needs 10 pips to come in. So the crossovers are a little bit different.
Yeah, it is a little deceptive there. It's a
The
much bigger
wastage
crossover.
here, but it is still only 1 pip. And the other thing is about the score at 3 away, 3 away. Once the cube is turned, the opponent doesn't have enough recube big, doesn't have a lot of leverage owning the cube, because if you redouble, like if you're in a money game and you redouble to 4 and you win, you would get full value for those 4 points. But at 3 away, 3 away, you won't get value for 4 points. You'd only get value for 3 points. Additionally, you want to double a little aggressively for another reason, because if you win a single game on a 2 cube, then you get to the Crawford score. So that's a little bit more powerful. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the reason to double a little earlier and in a borderline decision drop soon. Like I think usually about 2 to 3, like 1 to 2, 2 to 3 pips, like earlier than you might drop in a
Okay.
money game. But here,
And here we
still a
go,
take, I think.
3-1. Okay. So now
Right?
5-1.
Gonna play 6-1 for sure, and want to keep some structure.
Okay.
So 3-2, exactly right.
5-2.
Five
Okay, so
two. Whoop.
6.
6, and now I got to think. So want to think about numbers he hits me with, which is of course anything involving a 2 plus double ones, which would be the nightmare roll either, but that's bad either way. Obviously, if I move 18 to 17, that minimizes shots by 1. It goes from being 12 shots to 11 shots. If I hang back, let's say 18 to 17, does it make a different, or sorry, just 12 to 11? You could think about, well, what if he rolls, 6-1? Or if he rolls 6-2, right? Yeah, he'd still hit me, but I'd get a shot. So is it worth it to maybe get more shots on him? In the situation where he rolls 6-1, the other way, he'd be hitting me. don't think it's going to be too much different either way. I want to not get hit, so I'm going to go 18 to 17.
Yeah. It also duplicates the aces that hit and cover.
Excellent point.
Okay, so 5-1. Okay, here's a
And he
shot.
says, I don't care what you
Oh,
duplicate.
double five. Look at that. So
Oh,
one.
oh,
That's
one
the
for
easy part.
sure. Yes, he's bright. I think coming out with that one, we're not
Two.
going to hang back and wait for that other check or anything. 1, 2, 3, bring it down to the 10. And then I don't want to get hit. I'm up in the race. I'm cruising to victory after this, or to an easy recube. So I want to go 10 to 5, which
Yep.
minimizes shots and also gets one in the home board.
And if he dances,
We ship it back probably.
yeah,
Just have to look at the pips, but almost certainly.
5-3. So
And we are 51 78. The only thing to think about here is like, is there any value in trying to plan for a gammon? But there are so few, almost next to none gammons here that it's not worth it. I just ship it back, take the points,
all right.
say thank you.
All right. So now 2-0 Crawford. One
Yes.
away, 3 away, 6-5. Simple. Now 4-3.
4-3 from here is kind of interesting. I think the move is to play 13 to 9, 24 to 21. It doesn't make sense to get stacky and safe just yet. Nobody has a board. We're all friends. We're trying to get something going. That's what I'd play.
Okay. 5-2. Hit and continue.
I
3-1.
think here I'm going to make that anchor.
Okay.
Valuable one to have. Too far down in the race. At least I wasn't.
5-3.
I think here I'm making the 3.
Okay.
Making some structure.
Straightforward so far.
6-1, very straightforward. 6-2 is interesting. I'm not going to run out the anchor, obviously. I am going to come down from the 13, so just play 13 to 7, and then we go, all right, well, are we going to play to the 5, slotting a point we want to make, although we have a few numbers to cover, but really only one to comfortably cover. The other option is we could play 13 to 7 and then 13 to 11, looking to kind of trap him back there. That gives him more shots at us and obviously leaves 2 blots. There's some danger. I think I'd be inclined to just play 13 to 5. 1 blot, if he hits it, he's still back there for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
5-2 is to the 7. Double 1.
Ooh,
Okay.
love it. All right. So we're going to make that 5. We're going to scoot up from 8 to 7, blocking his 6s. There's immediately escaping 6s. Not all of them, I guess, but a lot of them. And then we'll play 6 to 5, because what else are we going to do? Perfect.
5-2 again.
So he's got the pip lead by up. He's got that straggler back. We're going to try to pin him in if we can. Want to make that 4 point for sure. That would be really strong. So I want to come down from the 13 to 13 to 9. The question is, do I want to play 5 to 4 and slot the point that I want to make? It really hurts when he rolls a 3 or a 1, 2, because then he gets to move up and do something good. I'm not so far down in the race that's impossible. I win that way. So alternatively, bring that back up. I could play 2 down from the midpoint, which gives me ammo. I still have some numbers aimed at the 4. It also gives me ammo to make the 8, which helps a little bit, but I have an anchor. I'm down in the race. It feels like a time to be aggressive. I don't care about getting gammoned at this score at all, so I think I'm going to play 13 to 9, 5 to 4, and then try to make something great.
2-1 hits.
He said I had to screw your plans.
So
try to come in. I think we switch so that he's not still able to move from there, and then I think come down 13 to 12, just giving us another builder. Let's do that.
5-1. All right.
I'm gonna say hope he stays on the bar, which he doesn't. So again, I'm not worried really at all about getting gammoned at this score, so I want to keep him dancing. I can't let him get around. It's too easy of a game for him. Gotta hit from 7 to 5. And then the question is, what do I do with the 3? If I bring it 12 to 9, that minimizes some blots, but also takes away a few covers. If instead I bring it 9 to 6, still get that cover, and that takes that blot away, at least in a different way. I'm just not loving it. Go back to the original and then hit with the 2. 12 to 9. That was one option. I guess alternatively, I could step up from the very back guy, but since I'm down in the race, I don't really want to do that. Would rather him stay back there for contact. Okay, there we go. 12 to 9. Let's do it. Finally.
Okay. 4-1 hits the hard way. 4-2.
It's the hard way.
Okay,
Okay, so we can hit him, and we're going to hit him. The question is, are we going to hit him by playing on the 2 and hitting him with the 4, or play to the 4 and hit him with the 2? I'm inclined to do the second of those. I'm not trying to get a checker on the 23 point, really. I don't have timing to start a back game or something. Maybe I would after he hits me a few more times, but that's not my goal. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the first rule of playing a back game is don't play a back game.
yeah.
So I'm going to say it looks like a better option to me to play to the 21 and hit him with the 2. Let's just see what that looks like. Minimizes blots. I still have some mobility from the back there with 3s and 6s. If he hits the 5. Okay. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Just seems a little cleaner to me, a little easier to play. What do you think?
I may have considered this one because you're not worried about gammon losses at this score. Now you have 2 different numbers to cover here. If you were to get hit, you have a pretty decent likelihood of getting a second anchor, which would actually work pretty well because all of Orange's checkers are on this side, except for this one, of course. And you have a little bit of timing with the 5th checker back. You may be able to make an anchor on the 22 or the 23, and have some mobility with the 24 by popping out with the 6.
You might be right. I'm not totally opposed to it. I think I'm still going to go with my original one.
All right, we'll see.
But it's not because that logic doesn't make sense. It does. It's not out of fear for getting gammoned. I just feel for some reason like this gives me a better opportunity to win. I play those other decisions a bunch and go, yeah, I thought I would get some mobility and get those back checkers out, but then I didn't,
All right,
So, all right, let's
see
do
what
it.
happens. 4-3 dances.
Yay.
3-2.
Doesn't cover. So let's come out with the 3 from 21 to 18. And I would say bring the 2 down from the 13, give us more covers.
Okay.
Another situation where we're leaving a lot of blots, but this is what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right, cleans that up. 6-5.
All right. 6-5. I think we're going to cover the 5. And then with our 5, we're going to make the 13 again.
Okay.
Looks pretty good. I like it.
6-1 runs out. 6-5.
Gonna hit with the 5 for sure. And then the question is, do I want to go 24-18? I kind of do, only because I don't want to otherwise have my guys so separate that I then start crunching on the front side and I can't get him out later, or just don't roll the numbers to get him out. So I'm going to do it now and hope that it pays off.
It also duplicates the 1s and 2s that enter in a hit.
That's a great point. That's a great point. It's something I need to pay more attention to for sure.
All right, now 4-2.
4-2. 4-2. So I think we got to get our checker on the 2 and have to, but it could be nice to get our checker on the 18 out, which we got to do with the 4. With the 2, I'm not all that picky about it, I guess. Having the 6s to make the 8 is fine, but I don't really want to make the 8. I want to make the 7. I'd like to get as many checkers looking at that as I can. I think 14-12. And then just get another builder pointed at that. I mean, I'm not so ballsy that I want to just slot it 9-7. Play around with 5 blots out there in the outfield. That seems to be inviting disaster. Not for gammon purposes, just for losing the game purposes. So I'm going to go 14-12.
Okay.
Hopefully make it if he doesn't escape.
Double one. Okay, so steps up now. You may be able
Steps
to.
up now. Yeah, but I
Okay,
can. Oh,
look
that's
at that.
wonderful. Let's make the six
Like
prime.
that.
Love it. Oh, love it. He's got a nice priming structure too. We got a little more
Six.
timing with ours, 100%. And four, I'd be inclined just to bring it down 15 to 11.
15 to 11. Okay.
Yeah.
4-2 hits loose.
He's gonna
So there's
jump.
the
Okay, I see what
one.
he's going for here.
Yeah.
You can see the thinking behind it. 11 to 6 or 13 to 8 doesn't matter. 11 to 6 looks good for some reason, but I don't know. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I like that.
Might also be worth considering with all these blots to just
Oh,
go
just
for it
to hit
while
it.
you have a 4-point board against a 3.5-point board. Blots here, here, and here.
It's true, but take it back just for a second to the other thing. So it's like the danger is like, well, I'm giving up my six prime, and yeah, he could absolutely enter and make his prime. But think about how little timing he'll have after that versus me with my two blots in the outfield or two extra blots there. I think I'd still have the timing advantage on him. So I
So you
want to
want
keep the six prime.
the builder here.
Yes, I don't exactly know why, but I do.
Yeah, well, you can attack
It
with 4s,
pleases me.
5s, and 6s now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Double 3 dances. 4-3.
Definitely going to get the three stepping up at least to get out of there. Then it's like, all right, well, do I really want him to make an anchor here? It's probably better just to close him out. I think I want to hit 6 to 2, just
Yeah,
get that going.
you don't want him to anchor there.
No,
All right.
no reason to make it harder
Five,
than it needs to
4.
be.
Good shape.
8 to 2 for sure.
6.
And with the 6, it's not like I want to put more checkers up. I don't really care. At some point, I'd rather him have fewer. Uh, but I don't think it's that bad to hit while we're escaping either. So what the hell? Let's do it. 12, 17.
Okay. Now,
All
5.
right, 5 to 2. I'm not going to slot the one, but I want to get in position to make it. So let's play 8 to 6 with the 2. And with the 5, let's come down from 17 to 12.
Okay.
Yep.
5-1 comes in. 2-1.
Mm-hmm. You want to hit him, but that's not a number to do it. So let's play 12 to 9. Just get closer and closer. Yeah,
All right.
good. He doesn't. And
5.
then let's
4.
hit with the
Hit.
5. Of course, let's bring the 4 in to help us get covers.
All right.
Yeah, let's
6,
cover. Let's bring the 3 down.
Okay.
Yep.
Double 5.
Play our
1,
double 5s.
2,
2, 3, 4, 100%. Gonna
Very
be
good.
safe, safe, safe.
Another double 5.
There we go. But hey, it works out okay.
6
6-1s, played exactly the way you'd think it would be. 2-1, very nice.
Like that.
Yep, safe as possible.
That should
And then
begin.
just accept the resignation.
All right. All right, now we'll analyze it. Very good. So we'll go through the straightforward ones. The 6-2 was straightforward, and then the 5-2 was just hit. And the 5-4, yeah, you want it to anchor here. The 3-2, yeah, I think this is the one that, like, I think I would have just played here. I think the resulting position, you don't have any blots, you don't have anything to worry about. The race is close, you have an anchor, there's one back. With here, it's like you're leaving 2 blots that I guess you didn't have to, and you're leaving like a 6-3 and a 5-4 would escape this checker and hit, and now you're leaving like a lot of numbers like 3-1, double 1, double 3, double 4 that otherwise wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, should have just played it simple,
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe like if the race were different, I mean, we could see like on this
Something
board.
I'd be interested on was imagine his checkers, 2 checkers on the 11 are somewhere, let's say on the 12. Let's say he's got a big stack on the 12. See if that changes anything. Because something I was thinking about at the time, well, I guess I'll wait and see the analysis before I look at it. I was thinking, part of the reason to make the 18 is giving awkward sixes. When he's on the 11, he has nice sixes to play from 11 to 17. Doesn't
It's
really change much
it's
here. I mean, it's
closer.
not as big. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
not as big an
65
issue.
millipoint error, which is double the
Yeah.
half as much as before. Yeah. So it does
Yeah.
change things.
Yeah, for sure. It makes it so he doesn't have the good sixes that he had from 11 to 17
Right,
before.
right.
But still, one, I probably should have just said, hey, I just made my golden point. I'm happy with it. Let me just play boring.
Yeah.
That's one of my downfalls when I'm playing XG or playing online is I tend to make the exciting plays or try to do something clever instead of just doing something
Yeah.
boring, which, sometimes you got to be boring.
So next, the 20 to 9 was straightforward, and then
Hmm
5 to 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
these were close.
Virtually
Yeah,
tied, yeah.
virtually tied.
But yours was number one. Let's
Doesn't
give you
matter.
credit
Yeah,
where credit's due.
6-4. Yeah, these are all virtually
Yeah,
tied.
I don't think these are going to be crazily different.
Yeah, this one
Ooh.
was close too.
Yeah, that was the one where that actually was one I was looking at here.
Yeah, this is the one
Really
that
close, but oh, look, a little outplay there,
you
maybe.
outplayed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's good.
Outplayed the worst version of XG, but yeah, nice.
Seven
Okay.
five.
Oh, that one. Okay, so 7-5-6-1. All right, though I did consider that, but I thought, man, I
Because it
really don't
doesn't
want to
get to
roll
bring
another
checkers.
6-2 after that or something, you know.
Yeah,
And if for some reason he has to leave a shot, I don't have three blots in my home board, but I guess it's all about the race at that point.
and then the 5-3. This is when you wanted to do that. Um,
Yeah.
I was looking
Yeah.
at this double two here. You remember this one here?
Yeah, for sure.
I
That
think a
was a
lot of
great
people
move.
wouldn't do that, but
Yeah, they might do something like going 13 to 9 with two of them or something.
yeah,
But
which is
that makes their situation worse because then they're stripping, then they got more stripped points that are harder
stripped
to clean.
points. Yeah, or play like this, and now you have all these stripped points. But here, you're
You
ahead in
just
the
play
race.
for days. Yeah, just
Yeah, you
go
need these
over my head
spares.
there.
Yeah, to play. Okay, so that was
Great move by
that
XG.
one, and the 5-3 was two down. Then the 4-1 was making the point, and then slotting it. And then here, yeah, I don't think you want to break your board here because once you do this, now you have a closed board. Okay, so what
Yeah.
happens when he rolls a 6 or something, or if you leave a blot? Basically, you're a huge favorite in a blot hitting contest here.
Yeah, he's got the 4 point board. I'd have a 6 point board. My fear with this one was, well, okay, but then if I have to play a six before he does, I don't want to leave a shot. But it looks like something where he's going to have to get rid of some of those direct, like those points on
Yeah,
the 17 and 14. He's going to have to clear those like next roll or really soon. Like his board isn't as dangerous if I do get hit, and the things that would hit me directly aren't as likely to be there when the time
yeah.
actually comes for me to have to run off. So
You see, in this position, so
lesson learned.
this was the original position, so it's an 86 millipoint error, but I moved these checkers to the opponent's 6 point here, and now it's much
Mhm.
closer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which makes sense because his
so
board's
that
much
makes
stronger. He's got more playability with fives in the board. Yeah,
yeah.
totally.
Okay, very
Totally.
good.
And it just as a bigger lesson here, something that I noticed that I struggle with and try to focus on more, but it's a good lesson for anybody, is sometimes when we're making little micro decisions like that, or just doing a ton of stuff on our side of the board, like, okay, I know I'm leaving my anchor unless I roll big doubles, so I'm playing over here. We don't focus as much as we should, or we might lose track of what the opponent's board is and how much that influences what
Yep,
we're doing on our side of the board and
exactly.
what those are. So, good lesson and lesson learned the hard way for me to always look up there
Look at the
and see.
entire board.
You look at the entire board, see what the opponent's
Eight,
board
three,
is.
6-4. Yeah, it prefers this, which results in this position as opposed to
Hmm
this. You're just kind of like dumping checkers deep, and here at least you have a clean 5 point board should you get a shot.
Totally. Makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. And then this was the double decision. Let's do the plus plus.
Yeah, still going to be a big old take, though.
Yeah. So like the
Just so
things I like to
close.
look at is like look at it for money, for example. And it's
Yeah.
just like a borderline. And let's say it's like a 7 point
Just
match,
barely
which
a
is
double, you're saying. Yeah.
similar. Yeah, it's barely a double. So
hmm
uh in a 3 point match, so let's say he's leading one. Now it's still a double. Uh The reason for this is because, so for money, orange doubles, blue takes, blue can redouble later and get value for 4 points. But in a 3 point match, when you're leading 1-0, it's an automatic redouble. So you don't have that value of cube
Hmm.
ownership. Now, if it's trailing, now it's a big difference. That's much stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Virtually no gammons. Okay. So
Hmm.
what else could we have changed to make it let's just go back to this.
To make it a pass, I think we just had to make it a bigger race lead for him, really.
Oh, that's much stronger now. Look at that.
Mm. Hmm.
And then this might tip it. Yep.
Ah, there we go.
And what can we do to make it a no double?
Mm. We could bury some of his checkers. We could.
Well, it's the race. Yeah,
There we go. Yeah.
yeah.
Just going to be race stuff no
Yeah.
matter what.
All right, very good. So
Hmm.
then it was the 5-1. Yeah, these were tied,
It's
whatever.
fine. Here
Six
we go.
one. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that
like
was the choice there.
so
And
that's the
I
one we were talking about.
yeah, for sure. It was like, all right, is it better to get away from hits by him or to leave myself back further and get more shots when he has to play in with a six? Apparently it was the other one.
Yeah. This would be a good one. I'll do a separate video too.
I was gonna say this is good dice distribution video.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like because you get to see, okay, what are my numbers coming up and how do they play? What are his numbers coming up? How do they play? And seeing that second roll beyond it. This is when if I were examining this on my own, I would take your Excel tool and pull it up and plug these in for sure because
Yeah, I mean I
that's
can
like the
pull
best
it
way
up.
for me to visualize it. XG's
Let,
is fine, but I can't really follow it as well because it's so
yeah,
awkward to look at.
let me do that and we can look at that. Um,
Yeah.
but in the meanwhile, what were the things that you were thinking about?
Oh, yeah. Well, you give me too much credit for thinking about things. Like, well, what were you feeling in the moment? So the six, gotta play that one. And then with the one, I'm thinking, okay, if I get closer to him, in other words, if I'm on the 17, then double ones are great for him, but double ones are great for him either way. If he has to play in with like 6-2, I don't get a shot in that version. I do get a shot if I hang back because he'd hit me for sure, and I'd be on the bar. But then I'd be aiming at the blot on his 5 point. So I knew it was more shots for me if he rolls this like 6-1, 6-2 if I stay back.
Right.
If I don't stay back, better for me in the race. What I probably should have paid more attention to here, and it's this kind of thing that's like it makes a difference here. Like I think I probably did glance at the pit count here, 63, 64, but that's not really telling the whole story because I've got all that wastage and a long way to go around. So my racing situation isn't as strong as it would seem just looking at the bare number, which, in general, you want to stay back and try to get hits if you're behind.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we can take a
I'm,
look at
I'm
the
leaving
dice.
him to one additional direct
One more
shot
number,
either
right?
way. So maybe for the one more number, it's worth it to get a couple more opportunities at a shot.
More shots, right. So this is the resulting position after the top play. Now this is the resulting position after the selected play, and this is the dice distribution. So for those that are not familiar with it, the upper left shows the equity heat map for how the opponent's rolls play next. So it shows your equity after a double 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, and so forth, with an average column on the right, and the panel on the upper right shows the same thing for play B, the selected play. These are on the same color scale from blue to red, where blue is good, red is bad. You can see, of course, when you make this play, the twos are bad. So you can see that here. the twos are bad. When you make this play, the ones are bad. And you can see that here, the ones are bad. Now you can look at the panel on the lower left is the equity difference heat map. So what it does is it takes the equity value from a given cell on the upper right and subtracts that from the equity value in the corresponding cell on the upper left, so it gives you a difference. So in the lower left panel, blue favors play A, red favors play B, white is neutral, and the panel on the lower right displays this as a vertical bar graph, so if you can't see the difference between the darkness of the colors. So you see here the swings are on 3-1, 4-1, and 6-1. So if we go back and look at this, so like, let's go here. Here and make the top play. And sorry, this is, so now 3-1, 4-1, and 6-1. Yeah. So
Well, this was my play, I think,
this
right?
was your play. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, if you do this, this was your play. You minimize
Yes.
shots. Yeah, the
Yeah.
3-1, 4-1, 6-1 is actually worse here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And on the other hand, it's the 4-2s, but these are huge swings. So what happens is this is how they're played. You see, it's like the hidden cover rolls.
This is really helpful to see, like,
That's
because
that's the base.
otherwise you might be like, all right, well, here's what they'll roll, but you got to see what XG is actually going to play with it, or what
There
you
are
ought to play with
fewer hidden cover rolls.
it.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the idea. It's like, so you make this play now 3-1, 4-1, and double one. Okay. And after this, it's 2-1
Yeah,
and double two, and 4-2
and double one,
and double one. Yeah, yeah.
but doubles being roll those as often as you'd roll a
Yeah.
3-1 or a 4-1. Yeah. I
So
mean, it's not a huge blunder, but it's enough that it's something that I ought to have
it's good to
taken the
learn
time
from
to
it.
count out, It's
And that's what you do. That's why the dice distribution is useful. And then it was a double five, and then this was a redouble, and it was a pass. It was almost too good.
yeah. I don't know if it's a combination of it being too good and also not volatile, really, because as he enters, as long as it didn't hit me, I think it's immediately a double
Right. I mean,
pass still.
we
So
we can go back and look at this and see like
yeah, because my gammons are only 2%, but it's like if he comes in with anything other than double six, say you're six, it's like
so we
okay,
can
then
see
it's
it.
an instant double pass either way, so it's not going to make too much
So now it's
difference.
like more, let's see how far. Now it's getting closer. I mean, now there are some gammons. So you have to be ahead significantly more in the race.
Yep. 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 Yep.
All right, on to game two. So the 6-5 was straightforward. And the 4-3, yeah, this is the idea. But the two plays were close. No big deal.
Yeah, I'm inclined to make the one that gives me more options afterward, but yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like they're about the same there.
3-1 anchors and 5-3 makes the point. And the 6-2, yeah, this is the idea here. I was kind of looking at this.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but I see the merit in both of those, That one
What
was
happens
one I
here
didn't feel great
is,
about.
so now you have this slotted, and although you have two numbers to cover, you don't really want to cover with a 3 because that would be breaking the 8 point. But
Hmm.
after here, you can cover with 4s and 6s without breaking the point. And you really want to do this when you're behind in the race. Yeah, this is a
Yeah, and the idea of
thematic.
like priming him is nice, and it's something where if I had the 4 point made instead of the 3 point, would you mind checking that out? Just
Yeah,
change my 3 point to my 4 point, like have the pretend I made the 4 instead of the 3 earlier.
still
Oh,
better.
actually, I can't see it. Maybe you're
Oh,
looking
oh,
at
oh.
it, but it's not showing up for me.
So, so this is the original position. It's a
Hmm.
24 millipoint error. Now it's a 42 millipoint error because you're further behind in the race.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, that makes
I
sense.
mean, if the race were closer, so like still, I think now you can even run, but then the second play would
Yeah,
be,
yeah,
uh, but they're
yeah.
close. Okay,
Interesting. All
then
right.
this was the idea, just make the next points. Very good.
Yeah.
And the 4-1, yeah, I think. See what happens here
A little too
is
big. I told you, a little too clever.
again the idea is you only have one cover number. You don't want to cover from the 7 point.
Mm-hmm.
You just come down here,
One
get
direct cover, but yeah,
yeah,
totally.
more outfield coverage.
More outfield coverage if he does jump out.
Yeah.
It makes
Okay.
all the
And then
sense in
the
the world.
double one, so that was good. And the
Mm-hmm.
3-2, so 13-10.
Mm.
So this is where you go
So
big or
they
go
wanted to go, yeah, go big or go home, right?
because the gammon losses at this score don't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally.
okay, then it was four
The
two.
backgammon losses do matter, but I wasn't too worried about that.
Yeah, 4-2. So this is what we were talking about. You
Mm-hmm.
just give yourself some more cover numbers.
Really close on that one too, though. You
Yeah.
know.
And then let's see what else. Then it was the 3-2. You bring one down. 6-5 was good. Things were pretty straightforward from here. Come out with the 6. 4-2. Wow, it's like slotting the bar point.
I that was the one that was like, well, I'm not gonna slot the bar point. That would be crazy. And
You
it's like,
see
nope,
here, it
that's what you
loses
should
more
do.
gammons, but it wins more games, and that's all you need at this score.
Yeah, that definitely is a game-winning play.
And double two was a great roll.
Wonderful
Then
roll.
6-4, these two were tied, and here it
Virtually
wanted you to
tied.
hit twice. Yeah, this is why I asked you.
That was the one you asked on. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I was hesitant to do that because I
it
didn't
was
want to break
kind of
my
a
six
hint, but
prime. Well, I mean, I don't know if you have the analysis up when you're doing it, so I'm like,
no, I was just looking
Alex is
at it.
allowed to be wrong too. You never know.
Yeah. But
So
no, I've seen this before, but I mean, like you can look at it and say, like, okay, so let's say this were made. Now it's a big difference. It
yeah.
was that blot, but what about like, let's say even this were here. Now it's closer, but
hmm
they're like lots and lots of
It is
blots.
like how likely are you to actually get primed in on the other side seems to matter a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
And how
hit,
many blots to hit if you do get hit.
yeah. So yeah, if you're hit, it's like okay, so you're hit. Even if you don't, if you come in with a 2, you have a 3 diversified to hit back.
hmm
So you have a 4.
And notice I also have some plenty of numbers to remake the six
Yeah,
prime from the 13 and from the 11.
yeah.
So, I'm like, oh, I might be giving it up. Yeah, but you might just instantly remake it with some of the numbers that would otherwise be bad.
All right.
Yep.
4-3 was to hit twice, and the 6-4 again you cover and didn't really matter.
Yep.
And you were just bringing things home.
I
I
was
don't
gonna
think
say, I think it's mostly gonna be straightforward from here.
straightforward here. Yeah, you just close it out, and the double 5 was good. The next double 5, 6-1, and that was it. Well, very good,
Yes.
very good.
Not as strong as I would have wanted it to be, but I like the outcome and I learned some things. I'm gonna learn even more when I analyze the match spot.
Yeah, that's the most important thing to have fun and to learn. And I think there was a few positions to learn from. And you look at the dice distribution. Some people find it hard to understand, but I feel like that's one of the things that I think has helped me improve significantly since I've been doing it and using it because it's like in backgammon, just like in life, you don't know what's going to happen next, but there are 36 possibilities and there are 1296 possibilities or 441 unique ones in the upcoming roll. So by doing this, it kind of helps me think about, what's going to happen on the next roll. What are the good numbers? What are the bad numbers? And kind of when you start thinking that way, you try to increase your good numbers and minimize the opponents and vice versa.
Totally. I think it's something that everybody ought to do. It's not the only thing that you look at, but if you're not looking at it, then you're missing out on a big part of the picture because
It's
it's
yeah,
just not impossible for us to instantly see all those different outcomes just in the next couple rolls that are going to
Yeah,
happen.
it's not useful for beginner players, but what I've done is like I've done a lot of videos with like the best players in the world, and I see how they think, and they think about exactly that. So I said, okay, I want to think about that way. So now I start doing that.
For
Um,
sure. Makes
but anyway,
sense.
there were some interesting ones. I think like one of the valuable ones is that 6-2 bringing two down. That's kind of thematic when you're
Hmm.
behind in the race. You want to make the bar point, and the other one where it didn't want you to leave all those blots when you had just like a simple alternative.
Yeah, absolutely. There were a couple of them there where it was like, just keep it simple, stupid, and don't do the don't do the crazy thing if you don't have a good reason. On the ones you could see where the ones where XG was being a little bit more aggressive or like laying some blots out, slotting some points. There's a reason to do it, number one, and there's also usually not as much concern as you'd think. Like, oh, well, what if I get gammoned? Well, it's at a score where you don't really care if you get gammoned, or things that kind of instinctually feel like, oh, I shouldn't do that. But you really have
Right.
to take into account the match score, the situation, the opponent's board, and stuff where you're like, well, should I really be afraid of that here? So
Very good. It's
a lot
always
to
a
look at. All right.
yeah, always
Always
a
a
pleasure.
pleasure
Yeah,
on
and
my end as well. Thank you very much
I
for having
really
me.
so this is one of the most beautiful boards I've seen, and this is like a custom-made Gammoner board. Tell us a little bit about that before we conclude the video, because this is a great board.
It is an amazing board. In fact, the real board is right
Yeah,
here.
right there. Yeah.
I have it right here, ready to go. And if a chouette breaks out in my office for some reason, got to be ready. Uh, I ordered that from Volker Vensloff at Gammoner. He makes wonderful, wonderful boards. They take a while to get because there's a lot of time and work that goes into it. But that what I thought for almost a year about what I wanted to order, figured I would make sure that I was gonna use it and enjoy it, and I saved up for a good one. And I've been using that one ever since. It's a club size board. It travels with me to tournaments. If anybody sees matches I'm playing in, you're often seeing that board. I do have other checker colors besides blue and orange, but it's so hard to move off the blue and orange because I love it so much because the Gators, every once in a while, I'll switch it up. And I
I
like
think,
playing on other people's boards too, but if
yeah,
it's a
this one's
choice,
nice.
often people are like, "Ooh, I want to play on that board." Okay.
Yeah. The do you have like blue and white checkers? I feel like
I
that.
do. I have blue, white, black, yellow, and something else that I'm losing track of. Orange. Blue, white,
Orange,
black,
right, of
yellow,
course. Yeah.
orange. Yep,
I
of
feel
course.
like blue and black and white would look good with those colors.
They do. Blue and white was my original choice with that. Blue and black and white were the three that I got when I ordered the board. And those are great too. But then I realized there was orange and I realized I had the opportunity to do the blue and orange thing. And so I went with it.
Yeah,
Um,
he
I
makes
also really, really like the the glide of the checkers, the
yes.
cube, like all the just the little things are not like things that okay, if any one thing's not that way, it's not the worst thing. Well, but just you notice how perfect and smooth it all
Exactly,
runs.
exactly.
So it really does make a difference when you're playing on it as
Yeah.
much as I'm playing on it, and we go into tournaments. Having something that's that nice is I think it's a good investment.
And I also think, in terms of the XG board, I really enjoy playing on different XG boards, and Rain does such an outstanding job of
Oh
making.
my gosh,
I
incredible.
like some of them. I did an interview video with him, and he showed me some of the boards, and some of his virtual boards looked better than the actual board.
Yeah, no, he is a wizard slash magician. Like with my board, he actually like my XG board, he had me take pictures of my actual checkers and of my actual cube. When
Right,
I have my cube on there, the swirl patterns are the same as on the actual cube. I mean,
right,
he puts a
right.
ton of effort
It's
into it.
fantastic. It's
It's
fantastic.
great. I would encourage everybody to contact him
Very
if you want
good. Do you
something
have
looking
any
good.
final comments before we conclude?
No, just thank you, and I'll try to do better next time.
All right, it's always a pleasure to see you. You're welcome to come back anytime. We'll go ahead and conclude the video. Thank you to the viewers for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. And with the membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. Again, my book, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos, and until then, keep rolling your dice.